that. See, he could tell her to do it, and when she was 5, and you were okay with it. But because of your perspective, you
has evolved.
No, it's not evolution.
It has evolved.
It's not evolution.
I'm letting you know my perspective has evolved.
But
I am not combative. Nigga, what the fuck is combative? Define combative. Define combative to the client.
This is what you're doing now. I don't have to define it. You're defining it for me.
I am not
combative. You didn't have any boys before Dre,
No,
right?
because y'all want to talk to me.
Did you have any sons before Dre?
No, my first sons are with Dre.
Okay.
I'm talking to you
let
like
me tell
my
you this.
sister.
Let me tell you the dynamic between a mother and her son. It's different between the dynamic between you and her. It's a completely different dynamic. You guys coddle. You guys are in love with your sons. You don't just love them. You're in love with them.
Mm-hmm.
So what
I received
happens?
that.
So what happens is when the man steps in and says, "Hey, stop, get up, no, do this," you're hurt because you know his feelings are hurt. Mm-hmm. It's okay. It is.
No.
It's okay for his feelings to be hurt.
No, you're putting me in the box with every other female. No, I'm listening.
You just said you know that you're in love with your son.
Yeah, so you
Okay,
think that
so-
when Dre says something, I am sitting here saying, no, it's how he says it.
doesn't-
You can deliver the message. There is. And I am telling you that there's a difference.
You don't deliver
How do you-
messages
how-
to
You
your
will create-
son nicely. He will run over you.
No,
It's
you
her.
don't. Look, if he would have said, yo, why are you moving around?
Okay. Do you want how much? What hurts worse? Just gonna
I'm
give you
listening.
What hurts worse? Your son saying, "Mom, get the fuck off me! I'm getting the hell out of here." For the rest of their life, from 16 on,
Okay.
from 16 and forever.
Yeah.
Mom, shut the fuck up. Goddamn, mom,
Yeah,
give me the fuck
every day.
alone.
Yeah.
Mom, get the fuck. You know what, mom? I ain't fucking with you no more.
That's a lot of fucks.
Do you want that, or
Yeah.
do you want the respectful kid to come around forever? Because the odds are, if you do it your way, the odds are a lot higher for him to be the other way.
I don't believe so.
I know you don't believe it, but it's reality.
It's been
Listen.
when I come home, the kids
So what's
are
been
everywhere.
proven with your
Hold on.
methodology? What's
Let me
been
tell you.
proven with your methodology?
Listen,
What's been
okay,
proven
I
with
gotta
your
be able to
methodology?
tell you.
The world is the proof of your methodology. Go ahead.
Grandkids, I come home. They all playing, jumping around, and doing all kind of foolishness. But mom is telling them to sit down. They running over her. Papa coming there. Hey, what y'all doing? Y'all grab some seats. Everybody sit down. Because that's the respect that the
Bailey,
kids
who has
have
the
for
authority
you.
in our house? Who do the kids listen to in our house?
Whoever
Well,
whoops their ass.
if they were to listen, who are they to listen to?
If they were to listen because of
They
the nice
listen to Dre?
treatment, they're not.
They do.
Okay, hold on.
If someone says sit down or someone says clean up, who do they listen to?
I feel like you're the only one that tells them to do those things.
So they listen to me. So he ain't even taking a position of authority.
Let me. He gave his example of how that method works.
Yeah, Pop
I'm
runs
gonna give
in
you-
and people listen to Pop. That ain't what's going on in my house.
Let me
I'm
give you-
listening to you now.
Let me give you the example. I'm a living example.
Uh-huh.
You and my mom have a lot in common. It's no way or no way. It has to be. It has
Yeah,
my
that's
mouth.
pretty much what
My
it is.
opinion has to be heard
Big eye contact
at
with
all
that.
costs.
Yeah, over there.
You're attractive and you got in your way a long time. So you got in your way a long time and your opinion has to be heard. You're a hard worker, right?
Yeah, I think being there like
All those things are true. What happens is with your son is as he grows up and becomes a man,
y'all talking about?
you're gonna have a problem with him maturing. You're gonna have a problem with him going further away from you. And he's gonna have a problem with being close to you because you're gonna impose your will on him and he's gonna push him away. He's gonna be mad at you. He's gonna be too emotional if you allow your emotions to dictate how he grows up. I'm telling you this because the way I grew up.
No, I'm
Main terms,
receiving.
you making bitches out them boys.
Well,
I'm about to
hold on,
kick
hold
you.
on, hold on.
That's
I said earlier, I wish my
blatant
superpower
term.
was the ability to kick people. I'm really about to kick you,
Hold
Paris.
on, don't kick
I'm
me.
listening.
Hey,
Blatant terms.
As the more mature I became, the worse my relationship got with my mother. And it was only because I didn't have to lean on her, and my opinion was different from hers. She would not get off her high horse. She would never budge. No matter what I did to contribute to her life, the more I became my own man, having a father, having a family, it offended her because her ego was hurt. So I'm telling you, if you don't learn to work on that today,
I'm listening to you.
it's going to hurt them for the rest of their life. And it's going to hurt your relationship because they're going to be men their entire life. They're only these little people for right now. For the rest of their life, as you see, they are grown.
Yeah.
Like you do in your own life, as you look in the mirror. So you want them to be able to come back and say, Mom, look at my family. Mom, look at my wife. You're not going to agree with it.
Yeah.
You're not going to like the bitch. You got to say,
You didn't know.
I just know.
Did you tell him about your hairline?
He already lined up now.
Well, I just wanted, because somebody gave her the female hairline and it was a mess. So I just wanted to make sure she didn't get the female hairline again.
Good.
They rounded her off.
Oh yeah, that's not a good look.
It was terrible.
Rainbow
I can't stand that. Your opinion, you're gonna want to voice your opinion when you don't like what they're doing as men. And if you do that, it's gonna push them away from you.
And me
And
knowing
every
her,
single time you do it,
she's addressing the issues in front of the kids and everything. She ain't even showing them no respect to pull them to the side.
Who are you talking about? Who are you talking about? Y'all don't know me. That's the
Trying to
thing.
get to know.
No, I'm willing to have I'm open
You
to
know the
having a
old Lonnie.
conversation.
You know her.
You know the old Lonnie.
All right.
The old Lonnie is everything you're saying. That's not me today. I'm about to kick you in.
well, you don't.
It's funny seeing you come back. I'm like, oh.
You've matured from your ways, as I've matured from mine. It's still in who we are. It's still in us.
Yeah.
So, but like you change your diet and you won't go back to eating certain ways, and you won't go back to acting certain ways. It's the same thing, especially now they're getting older. What are they, 6 and 8?
6 and 4.
You gotta have it. Listen, you can control Dre by by certain things. You can control him by doing certain things. Control him, but still let him do his thing. He has to be that way with him. He's not abusive. He's not molesting. He's not doing none of those things. So you have to be. You have to.
I can't stand your ass.
I'm just saying.
I'm listening to you.
You have to say, you know what? You know what, Daddy? I love what you're doing. Just bring it down just a little bit for me.
So you're telling
I'm telling you,
the feedback can be finessed differently, but you're not telling me not to give feedback.
I'm saying let.
Telling
I'm telling you,
the feedback can be finessed differently, but you're not telling me not to give feedback.
I'm saying choose your battles. It's not
No,
worth
that was a battle worth choosing.
Okay, you listen. Do it your way. I'm not saying don't do it.
I'm not
just
saying
telling
don't. You
there's a
said if
different
there's a
way-
battle to
different way.
choose.
There's a different way, and there's things not to say. He's playing chess, and he says, "Hey, son,
I didn't go in the middle after the chess game.
it shouldn't even been addressed."
Why? Why
Because-
should I allow him
Because
to?
he's teaching him how to play chess alone. That's dope. For 2, he's being stoic and calm with him, and he's being disciplinary. He didn't slap him in his mouth. He didn't get drunk and say, "Nigga, what the fuck wrong with you?"
But why is that the barometer for abuse? So we should allow
It's not abuse.
It is abuse.
It's correction.
It's not
Listen,
correction.
listen, look
So
at my teeth.
correction.
Look at this. Look at this. I got Invisalign in right now.
Yeah.
It hurts.
Yeah.
It sucks every day.
Yeah.
But the outcome is my teeth will be straight.
when you were getting fucked
My
up.
teeth will be straight.
I just don't think that it's necessary
No, you
to
don't think
raise
that
a
because you don't-
child in fear and
It's not
pain.
fear and pain.
You said it's necessary.
Fear and pain is necessary.
I don't think it is.
It's what teaches humans how to be correct.
No, it's not. It makes them into compliance. I don't want my children to be
Well, you have to be in
compliant.
compliance to structure. Yes.
What
to structure?
structure?
To discipline. You have
So
to be in compliance.
This is structure.
To
This
dis-
world is structure. The way that this shit is happening is
We don't have to
structure
go-
to
we don't have to
you.
go by God.
This
We
is
don't
what
have to go by God's
I'm not talking about God's plan. I didn't even say God.
talking about integrity?
I'm talking
You're
about the
talking about honor.
fucking world. I'm talking about the world that we live in.
You're talking about
This is
discipline?
what you want me to raise the next generation of
Well,
this bullshit?
well, they're gonna be here no
Not at
matter
all. No, they're not. My kids. Oh, you joined the conversation too? What you gotta say? What's your name?
They got a special institution.
But what is your name?
That don't have structure.
I would like to know your name. Taylor? They got a special institution for people who don't have structure? I'm not saying that my children don't have structure. I'm saying that the methodology that you are preaching
I understand your
is the
perspective, but
methodology that is governing the world that we presently live in.
We live in this
And
world.
I am not raising the
Unless
next
you move-
generation of
Unless
this.
you move to
I'm not.
Mars. I mean, this is the world we live in.
My kids will be different. I'm different. Why can't my kids be different? I'm not a typical black woman. I'm not raising the next typical black woman. And I'm not raising the next typical black man.
It's not about typical or not typical. I'm
For you.
speaking of a calm way, a diligent way, a stoic way of looking at life, and allowing maturity to happen. You have a chance to have a father. Was your father prominent?
I was raised by my father.
Okay, so then you should understand what Dre's trying to do.
Yeah, my father, I was terrified of him. And I never liked him. I respected him because of his position in my life, not because he did anything that was respectable. So he's not an example of
I
it.
don't know everything. But
I
just know
understand
that-
what
I
you're
do know
saying.
what Dre is doing is good. And he
You're
did
not in my
good.
home. You're not in my oh.
He did good.
You are eating off a plate you don't know
doing
nothing
right- he's
about.
doing right by
You
me.
eating no, I'm doing right by me.
Okay.
Paying the bills is not doing right by
It does
me.
more than that. You know.
You don't know. You don't know.
Okay.
That's a product of my raising.
Okay.
And I'm not taking nothing from him, but who she is a product of my raising. Dre will say it himself. Depending on how he feels, he either raised her or he didn't raise her. So if she doing right, he raised her. If she ain't doing right, she's mine. Well, she's mine, right or wrong.
Okay.
So I think that you have an outside looking in perspective.
I could only have that.
Exactly. So you were really
I'm
adamant.
only speaking about what I would do in my life.
And I'm exactly, and I'm receiving what you're saying, but I'm telling you what's actually happening. Like, so you're coming at me through theory, and I'm coming to you from this is what is actually happening. And in that particular instance, he could have corrected his behavior. Michael wasn't doing anything wrong. He doesn't know any better. So the proper stoic, exactly. It was a learning opportunity that was not taken advantage of because he rather would tell him, sit still, you're not paying attention, I'm gonna take this opportunity away from you because you don't know how to sit still. No, that is it. Just because you're not thinking, just because, no, it doesn't. Why do I have to be made to sit still? How come you can't explain to me?
The ways.
No, teach me the methodology.
That's it.
Why? No, sit still and be quiet is not teaching a child why I need to sit still, why
So
this
tell me
is
how it
demonstration of
Tell me
respect.
how could it have been different?
You're gonna let me actually explain the situation now?
Tell me how you would have did different.
How I would have been like, Michael, you understand you're not sitting still? And he'd be like, yeah, I want to watch TV. I was like, okay, if you want to watch TV, then you go ahead and watch TV. But if you want to play chess, then we need to actually play chess. So you need to pay attention to what's going on here. So now he has a choice, not because he doesn't want to learn an opportunity. Don't cut me off. Nope, I let you talk for 10 minutes. You let me talk. Yes, a 6-year-old. When does he start making choices? When he's 20? When he's 18? When he's out of my house? I'm not talking to you. Yes, my 6-year-old is making his choices now so that when he's 20, he knows how to make choices. Okay, so would you rather, you're literally the person that started my whole parenting philosophy by telling me, allow your child to have a fucking voice before they leave your home. So now I'm just taking it, yes, I am taking it down to birth that my child can tell me and I can tell them, and now we can figure out how we both can work this so I'm not crushing their personality.
Well, how do you teach your predecessor politely?
You're telling me.
How you teach your predecessor politely?
So my predecessor would be the person who came before me, correct?
Okay. What's the one's after you?
Is a predecessor after?
No, I don't know. What's after you?
I don't know. Maybe it's predecessor.
Okay, so how do you
How to teach my kids?
How do you teach the person walking in your shoes to kindly? Because you know how struggling your path was. How do you teach that? How do you teach in a kind way? 'Cause
Demonstration.
Teaching isn't. Correction isn't kind. Correction is not kind. Correction sucks. Correction is. Sometimes it hurts.
No, I corrected her earlier. Because we
She's
were
not 6 right now, honey. We're talking about
no, but
life, though.
so
Life
yeah,
correction.
yeah. So she's
Sometimes-
18, so I could get in her ass with no remote, with no regret.
You were doing it.
But what I'm saying, I know, because I was wrong. I was a terrible parent. I'm gonna eat my stuff, and I would own that. Yes, I did some great stuff, but I also caused my child to have anxiety. I caused my child to not know who and what she is. Because I controlled so much. She's an amazing kid, so I didn't screw her up. But she's a lot of that. She kept herself solid.
You see how you said control?
I don't remember how I used it. What was the context?
No, control. That's the point that I'm going. My original point is loosen up. You gotta trust. You gotta trust in humanity. Hey, gorgeous, have a good one. Always a
You
pleasure
too.
seeing
See you later.
All right, good seeing you, sir. Keep making good choices. You gotta trust.
What the hell does good choices mean?
Make good choices. You
What
know
are good choices? What are good choices?
I make good ones. I make bad ones.
I'm like, I need to make a good choice. What the hell is a good
You
choice?
just said you-
No,
you
that's
said
too
you-
open-ended. That is too open-ended. You have to open
why
up
we
a
know
space and it starts. No, I'm just telling you this is an example
You make good choices.
of we can say open-ended stuff to children, but if we do not guide them and let them know what a good choice looks like, they're going to be faced in any particular situation where this is a bad choice and this is a bad choice, which is the good choice out of the bad choices. They should know they shouldn't even be in that situation. And you
That's the
get
good
that
choice,
from
to walk
talking.
away.
How do they know?
By leading by example, by teaching.
Exactly.
saying,
More
by sit your ass down.
information, not sit your ass down. That's not enough
You gotta learn
information.
discipline.
No, through threats and fear. I'm not going to do this because I'm fearful of
Yes.
the consequence
Yeah,
on the other end.
consequence, yes.
No, that's not
what-
it.
That's how,
No.
That's how men are. I know you don't understand that, but that's how men are.
And in this institution that you speak of, that people
It's
who
full
don't
of
have,
men.
is full of men.
They didn't have fathers. Not good
You
ones.
think so? You think it's the absence of the father?
Yes,
But why are you got
It's a-
cut off when we were made the man point? You gonna stay over there? My
a
point to
trickle-down
you
effect.
is yes. So exactly, generations of no fathers,
Generations of bad
men
fathers.
who were raised bad fathers, and what's out there right now? Guess what? There's men who have fathers who are also in prison. So all I'm saying is we don't know. Have you done
It's
it?
a lack of emotional maturity.
You've actually
I got to hang out with a couple.
you got to hang out with us. So I'm not gonna deny your hands on.
10 months. I did a 10-month survey.
Yeah, right. I'm not gonna
Most of them
deny.
had their fathers.
I'm gonna let
They
you have
did,
that
they had
one.
horrible fathers.
Yes,
who were in the
but
same
what I'm
situation.
saying is, I just think that our black men, our black boys, can be raised in a space where they're
no
not
other
being
way.
torn down.
There's no other
There
way.
is a way
When
to
you're
raise
fat
a
and you lose
man
weight,
without being
there's no
torn
other way.
down. There is. There. We could agree to disagree.
Not that
I
agree
am
to
not
disagree.
rejecting.
You
It
told
is
me-
no.
You
No.
told me what you did to lose weight, and that's the only way to do it.
It's not.
You got to get uncomfortable. You got to get uncomfortable. You can't
So
have
why
your
does-
way and lose weight. You
But
can't.
why does uncomfortableness have
And
to
when
be
you're-
a
and when
form of punishment? You can
Because
be
that's how you
uncomfortable.
learn. Listen.
It's not.
Have you ever done any dog? Have you done any dog training?
No, I've never trained a dog.
Okay, look it up. They go in and they're snatch the dog. It's uncomfortable. It sucks. It's like watching, like, ooh, that's kind of mean. But guess what happens months into it?
Because you have to break.
Exactly.
I'm not breaking my
It's
children.
not about breaking them. It's just
It is the
teaching
exact. It's
them.
slave mentality.
That's not
I'm
slave
done
mentality.
going. It is fucking slave mentality. To
It's
break
men.
something to build it
It's a
up is slave
man.
mentality.
It's a man.
So we are breaking our black men to build them up. I
It's
do not agree with
correction.
you. You call it correction. You can use whatever warm and fuzzy words you want to, but you are saying
If
we
he
must
was-
break our black
if he
men
was
to
slapping
build them
your
up.
son,
You are
if he was
saying
hitting
that
a belt dog,
you and your analogies.
you gotta break bad habits. Yes.
There's a difference. I didn't tell you to be quiet. I didn't even rebuttal. I listened to you. But with you, I'm not saying, oh yeah,
She said, but with you.
but with you, we got decades upon decades of history.
At least 3.
So since 1819,
Yeah.
15, 16 for me. So I understand what you're saying. I just think the breaking isn't in a way of breaking a spirit.
You have to trust in First of all, you gotta trust in the higher power. You gotta trust in the source. Trust
And source is literally leading me through raising my children. You don't think that I'm not getting this from God?
But you're different about your sons. You gotta understand that bond is different, and you gotta work against it. Yeah, that emotional bond with you and your son is different, and it can hurt you if you don't be good. Like, okay, listen. I gotta let it go. I gotta let it go.
Hold on.
Left, I see you like kicking 3 balls.
I'm sick of your shit,
I'm
Paris.
saying, we just trying to talk
No,
to
I'm
you
sick of your
like
shit,
our
though.
sister, and
No,
you ain't
I'm
listening.
sick of your shit, though, Paris.
You're not listening to
I'm sick of
us.
your shit.
You're
That one
she's
right
not
there.
listening.
I'm sick of his shit.
Oh, we pumped up with the viewers today.
Oh, I got my 2, you know. I'm doing good with my 2. I'm supposed to be in Bible study. I got Bible study starting in 15 minutes, but I ain't got my Bible. So we ain't having a Bible study.
That bond between his son and his dad.
No one's trying to break the bond between a son and his father. All I'm saying is that there is more teaching that can be there besides threatening. And just because your form of threatening is ass whooping and punching in mouths,
That is a form of it. Yeah.
there's levels to
Okay.
threatening.
I'm gonna take myself for example. You got in trouble at school yesterday, right? What would normally happen? What happened yesterday? You didn't get a whooping, right? You wrote down what?
Do I have permission to talk to your son?
So with that being said, he now knows what can go wrong. So I got my share. I wasn't worried about what could go wrong. I got off of it so many times. I get a DUI, I hire a lawyer, I get off of it. I get a DUI, I get off of it. I didn't care. I'll get off of it again until I couldn't. And even then, as tough as it was, I had to reflect and take accountability. My point is I wasn't afraid of the consequences. I cheated on my wife. I wasn't afraid of the consequences. I'd have sex with other women. I wasn't afraid of the consequences.
I'm gonna let you have your
the
moment.
consequences
Caught up with you?
caught up with me. So
Why are we raising?
because my mother, I did not have a father to discipline me and teach me discipline to not even cheat in the first place. To have control of my own emotions and my own lust in the first place. That's what a father teaches you. Discipline. And discipline is not fun. I'm sorry, discipline is not fun. It's gonna be kind of mean. So let that man do his job. That's all I'm gonna say.
No, I'm not saying that he cannot discipline his children. They're without breaking. What do you need to add, Taylor?
Hey, right here. Come here.
Okay.
Bring the camera right here. Come in there. Now, you have both your mom and dad, right? Who do you like being around the most?
Your father,
Why?
you gotta speak up.
Tell her why.
Why do you like being around your father?
Because when I grow up,
Mm-hmm.
I'm learning from him.
Correct?
My surroundings, what to do when I grow up,
Mm-hmm.
and other stuff to help me. My mom, I like hanging around my mom sometimes because she buys me stuff.
She's nice to you. And she's
But my
nurtures
dad
you. Women are
works
nurturers by...
But let the young man
They
speak.
nurture us,
Let
so
the
that's
young
why
man
you like
speak.
that. Go ahead and finish.
And then my dad, he puts the pressure on me to work harder. And I get that encouragement to work harder.
No. I'm sick of your crap,
Don't be
Paris.
sick, learn.
No.
We're here to learn.
No,
We're here to
I-
share knowledge with each other.
I really like.
You can't fight because I'm sharing. I feel
Thank you,
threatened.
young
Can
man.
you just say don't threaten your son? I feel threatened.
You should feel threatened because I am threatening you.
That's it.
Where did
Tear
I learn
down.
it?
Tear down and
I
bury
learned. I learned it from being raised by a black man who threatened me every
To
day.
everyone. And it's your way or no way.
No, I'm not.
But your way is right too.
I'm not disagreeing with
It's a
correcting your
way to come to
children.
him because sometimes I feel like I been too hard on my son. I come back and have to. I never apologize, but I tell him I ain't mean to talk to you that way. Especially if I'm in the heat of the moment and pissed. You know?
I always, I whoop my son's ass. I leave him in the room for a minute, let him cry, and I come in there and I talk to him about it.
Yeah.
So
I explain to him
Because it's
why
better
I had
than us
to
to
whoop
whoop
his
his
ass.
ass.
So
than the
so you
police.
so you beat ass first and then correct or have the conversation after.
Not necessarily.
Sometimes it's the other way. Some you work it all kinds of different ways.
I can tell you, hey, this is what we're going to do because of this, this, and this. Now, if you decide to go against that, there's a consequence for it.
Right.
And after I give you the consequence, I'm going to go back in there and I'm going to explain to you why you got the consequence. And it has nothing to do with what I told you at the beginning.
I hear what you
It
got.
has everything to do with the fact that you feel like you don't have to listen and obey and respect what I'm telling you.
I respect
It
that.
has nothing to do with what you did physically. It has everything to what you did morally.
Y'all need to listen to Taylor.
I raised Taylor.
You raised Taylor.
Right here in this shop.
Well, what I'm saying is I agree with what you're saying, Taylor. Taylor ain't said nothing I disagree with.
Well, I need you to.
I
But
wonder
you there,
why.
lefty. You wonder why?
She's got-
Shut up.
You got biases. Okay.
I don't have biases. All I'm saying is there is a way to correct our.
To Taylor 'cause she
No.
got long hair. She don't listen to ball men.
Shut up. I know what you're saying.
You hear me, Left?
Suicidal tendencies amongst black men, or the death rate and suicide of black men is where it is because of what? Address that. Because so you're blaming it on the mom. Exactly. Are you so you're trying to say that a woman can't teach emotional intelligence? So you're trying to say I am y'all so
supposed to
fucking
have no
frustrated.
emotion.
Yeah, he's supposed
He
to
a
have.
warrior.
You-
He don't have emotion.
I'm gonna kick you. Gone.
None of that. Unless we drunk.
I can't.
With a Heineken in the straw.
Shut a Heineken in a straw. With the pinky. With the pinky.
He's supposed to lean on himself.
He's supposed to lean on
gonna have
himself.
a team
Who's gonna
of
teach
leaning
him?
on his
Who's
back.
gonna teach him? Who's gonna teach him?
Right.
No, not my physical child. I'm talking about a child in general.
Father.
A daddy. Right, like a
You gotta
daddy.
respect the father to do his job to teach emotional maturity.
What if the father doesn't have emotional maturity?
Obviously, a father
Boys
has
don't
some.
have emotion.
What? Now you making excuses. What if the nigga ain't got no emotional?
On us. We gotta have people on our back.
on you. That was your fault for picking a man that was like that.
But listen, you get the
I
kid.
agree.
Now listen,
Taylor,
the woman,
we
listen,
might be able to talk.
The woman takes the kid till he's 6 years old. After that boy is 6, the daddy snatches him away and finish raising. Because the mama gonna instill all this emotional shit in him, and he gonna be crying on Ricky Lake.
I
Povich. I am the father.
disagree. I disagree. I
That's the rules.
received
Them been the
no.
rules since ancient times.
So lefty, and this is the state. No fathers in the homes because it's been the rules.
Lord, that ain't why they in the home.
Are you proud of the state of men?
No, that's why I'm raising my sons differently, and I'm challenging my husband to raise them differently. Yes, it is. I'm not. You feel that? And see, this is exactly the point. The ego. We are bumping against each other's ego. You're not bumping against mine because I understand 100%. I'm not disagreeing with you. And I'm going to walk away from this and I'm going to reflect on what you said. And there's going to be some evolution that's going to take place within me based on what you said, what Taylor said, what Paris. I don't know why I just got to call that man Damus. What Paris said. But, you know, I am going to reflect and I'm going to, like Bailey is saying, listen to them. I'm going to listen, but I'm going to let my voice be heard as well. I'm not going to be silent and just allow you guys to say things to me that I adamantly disagree with. And I understand you have the male perspective, but understand, like Taylor said, I chose the man that I chose. So when I see deficits within my man, especially when he's transferring those deficits to my children, I'm going to say something. I'm not going to allow him to move how he moves because, yes, as a father, he has certain fundamentals down. But there's other areas that he needs improvement, and who but the person who watches him every day can give him feedback. You can't give him feedback as a father because you don't see him father. I see him father, so I can give him feedback. Now he can shut up and he can filter that through his lens, his perspective. He can deliver it as a black man, but to continue to tear people down and thinking that is how you build them up, that's not going to happen in my household. Now my husband can figure out how he can still be the man and instill those without tearing his children down. And for you to think that it's not at all possible, like there's no possibilities to raise a black man without tearing him down first, is fucking ridiculous to me. I still love you, Left. I appreciate your words, Taylor. Paris, I'm gonna kick you.
What happened?
Just because. Simply because you're Paris.
I love you.
Nah, give me a hug. I love you.
I love y'all too. Y'all just keep on working on it. You don't get this parenting right. But you know, people don't listen to me. I got 3 grandbabies now. Mm-hmm. And they love me to death. Mm-hmm. That's because I'm firm and fair.
Firm and fair.
Firm and fair. That's how you got to raise them boys.
There's nothing wrong with firm and fair.
Firm and fair.
There's nothing wrong with firm and fair. I have a problem with, if I could take either of those young men right there and actually have a conversation with them, I could point out every area that whoever it is that they idolize is missing, and I could go to that person and let that person know, and then they could pick up in those spots. That's all I'm saying is, as black men, you guys are leaving deficits with your children, and women can point that out to you, and then you bring it in. You bring it in from your perspective. I'm not telling you not to be a man. I'm telling you, hey, here's some areas of improvement, how you can step up your technique. Just like you can look at me and say, here's how you can step up your technique.
I don't really see nothing wrong with you.
Because I'm fucking perfect.
Always do. All mothers are combative. All mothers are combative. They don't agree with the man for nothing.
No.
No, but you know what? Sometimes we do be hard on our boys, but that emotional stuff, that's how you get the little sweethearts running around and they wearing dresses and purses by the time they're 13. And y'all will protect that. The moment your son picks up a purse and put it on, leave it in the dad, get on it. Leave him alone. We're not doing that. Don't do him like that. He can be himself. No, if you tell him this shit is wrong at 13 and he understands why, it can be prevented. Some people be thinking that they this way because of the crowd of the kids that they're around is doing this stuff and they seeing it on TV. Off the P Valley game. You feel me? You letting your kids watch P Valley, they think it's cool for this motherfucker to be doing what he doing.
There's seeds.
Right, they're watching, they're growing, they're
seeds that are
sponges.
being planted.
As soon as he pick that purse up and you be like, yak, put that motherfucker down. This how wrong it is. You ain't gonna do it no more.
But what if you just shamed him out of his identity?
There ain't no identity.
How do you know that's not his identity?
Because he don't know his identity at fucking 11.
You knew you liked girls at 11. How come he don't know he liked boys at 11?
We're not doing that. We ain't gonna have this conversation. I don't have nothing against HBLTQ.
We're not wired like that.
We're not. How do you know we're not wired like that?
We're not. You know how reproduction works?
I understand how reproduction works.
You already know we're not wired like that. I can't have sex with another man and make a baby. Just like you can't have sex with another woman and make a baby.
I'm not gonna
Just like two women and two men can't adopt a kid and raise it properly.
I'm not gonna enter that conversation because I'm on live. I hear what y'all saying.
I had to stop it. Ain't no else.
Yeah, we got you. You better give your disclaimer. They gonna be up here boycotting in a second. They gonna be like, that Paris nigga, we can get him up out of here. That Paris motherfucker, get him up out of here.
No, but seriously though, you gotta stay on your boys, man. You can't slip on him. My man over there, he coming here for years. He a good daddy. He gave all 3-4 of his boys. He keep them with him, and that's what you gotta do to stay on. You gotta be in their life. That's it. Just be in their life. Whatever route they take, steer them the right way. You can only teach them and guide them, but after that, you have to let them go to the world. And 16, you gone with me. I'm done. I done taught you everything. Whatever decisions you make from here is on you. The Bible said 12, a kid is on his own and responsible for his own sin. Who am I to say different? And thank you. You guys have a good one.
You know how to finish it off too.
Don't egg him on. Don't mic drop him.
We're over together.
Whatever. Anyway,
Left.
we're not gonna have Bible study today.
He got this here. Left 20.
Yeah,
20. He got it here.
I'm not in disagreement with you. What I'm saying is, like I said, I think that we can work together and raise our children versus you raise them.
You can work together.
Go ahead. Teach you about the menstrual cycle.
You say what?
The husband can do to teach her about her menstrual cycle.
Yeah, you have to do. Y'all can work together.
No, but-
This how you work together.
but
You raise the girls
hey.
and he raised the boys.
Right, exactly.
That's the perfect way to work together.
Hey, but
Because you have equals amounts.
Listen.
Yeah, we listen.
Who taught my sons how to use the bathroom? I did.
But not the right way.
Exactly. So
taught him to sit
I
down.
have a whole
So guess
man-
what he's
no,
doing? He's
I
sitting
taught,
down.
No, I taught my sons to stand up. But guess what? Dre eventually got in there, and I learned I taught him incorrectly.
And it's secret ways when you teach boys.
Exactly. What I'm
Sometimes when they
saying
sit
is-
down,
what
if their
I'm saying
area is
is-
touching water, you put tissue in front of that to keep it from going in the water. Up against the tar, all that. You gotta. It's ways to teach your sons that only he know to
How
do it.
endowed are you that you're touching the water? Like that's a whole
Enjoy
lot
your day
of.
too, all right? All right.
How are
No,
you-
no, listen what
how
I'm
are you-
saying.
I don't
It's
understand.
only the dudes can teach their kids that. You don't know his secret ways when you going in there to use it. He do.
Exactly.
So you
So
taught
what
him to use the bathroom, but he off these. Look. This is what you taught him.
I
To
taught
sit
my
there
sons to. Well,
with his legs touching.
what the hell?
This how y'all teach them
Well, how
kids.
they gotta
Boys
push
sit
their,
on there like this.
Exactly, because they gotta push it down. I know not to close your legs. I don't even pee with my legs
All women
closed.
teach their kids to sit down, and no matter if it's a boy or girl, only the daddies can show them how to really.
And I taught them
So-
how to stand
So
up.
that's why y'all
but
work
I taught
together
them
with
round.
teaching the kids.
Exactly,
You
working
teach the
together.
girls and he teach the boys.
No,
So you want to do all the teaching.
I want us to work together. And tearing my child down is not what's going to
So
happen.
what's your definition of tearing down? That's what I don't. That's where you lost me.
That's
at.
because y'all never let me finish my sentence.
Go ahead. I just want to know the tear down part. Tell me that part.
Well,
Like if it's a kid doing-
okay, so like I said, he was teaching him how to play chess. And he said, sit still or I'm not going to teach you how to play chess. And all I said was, instead of telling him that you're not going to teach him how to play chess next time because he can't sit still, ask him, hey, do you know that moving around like that is disrespectful? That's all I said. Because Michael, do you think he's literally sitting there being disrespectful on purpose? No, Michael is not being disrespectful on purpose. He doesn't know that his fidgeting around and shit like that is perceived as disrespect. Now you teach him that, not threaten him. And he's like, I don't know why I'm supposed to sit still, but I know I don't want to lose this opportunity. So I'm going to do what I need to do.
He told me to get you. What's up?
What's up with you?
He told me to knock you out. Come on up in here. Let's get cleaned up.
Yes, Taylor, what you got for me?
Oh, man. Somewhere out in Skid Row.
I don't have an opinion on that.
Do you think it's okay?
I don't have an opinion on that.
Okay, let me ask you this. If your son was 9, 10 years old and came to you and said that he was gay, would you be okay with it?
I'd have to be.
Then you can't have the conversation of what it takes to raise men.
Because you think that
You're not
someone,
ready
because
for
you
it.
think that someone gay is not a man?
No, because
No, he's
it's
not,
a
or no,
whole-
that's not your view.
it's a whole nother spectrum.
Well, you brought the sexuality into it, so I'm
Well, I know,
asking
that's
you.
why I'm saying.
You said because
I'm
if my
just-
child
I'm
came
just
to me
saying
and
that
told
because
me,
you're asking questions on how to deal with raising a boy, right?
children in general, it just happens to be my son at the time.
Okay, so if you want a man's perspective, you gotta understand the way that we would think about it.
I receive your perspective, but y'all are totally not interested in my perspective.
No, we're listening. It's just a woman's perspective on a man's perspective is like a man having a perspective on a woman's perspective. It's never gonna line up. It's not
Why is
true.
it a man versus a woman perspective?
not
This is
versus.
raising children.
It's not versus.
I know this is raising children.
It's not a,
So we can tear down our kids, male or female.
no, that's not what I'm saying.
So help me understand your perspective, Taylor, because you just jumped in on the conversation.
I did.
Give me your full perspective. I'm curious.
Well, ask me something.
I don't have nothing. We are talking
I'm
about
just saying,
how the whole conversation started. How'd the
we
whole
can't-
conversation? I'm
we
listening.
can't have a conversation on raising men if you think it's okay for a young man to like other young men.
I
we
am
can't
saying
have that
if my
conversation.
child comes to me and tells me this is the choice that they're making for their life,
And the difference between a kid coming to a father and saying something like that is we would correct it.
how do you? And that's what that perplexes me. How do you correct someone's sexual attraction?
Naturally, it scientifically, naturally, religiously, if however you want to look at it, it don't line up.
I understand everything
And so-
you're saying. How old are your children, Taylor?
10, 7, 9, 16, 15.
16 and 15. So you got some active ones as far as they know if they are in relationships or not.
And they're in relationships with the opposite sex.
Okay.
But I'm not saying like that in a way that there's anything wrong with being gay. That's fine. You can pick and choose what you want to be when you're appropriate age to.
So you're saying if they come to me at 8,
Yeah,
there's a conversation to be had, but if they come to me at 16, then that is your choice.
Yeah, you made your choice. You understand.
So they must live a lie up until they're 16.
No, it's not that you live a lie. It's just that you don't even understand yourself. So how can you understand a preference?
So you're saying that
And
the
it's really
ability
not
to
even about the
understand
preference.
self is an age thing?
It's not even really about the preference. It's just about the understanding.
So you think the ability to understand thyself is an age thing?
In certain ways, yeah.
Okay.
Certain subjects, yeah.
So do you know how you feel and think on any particular subject? So do you know yourself? So I don't know. Oh, you said what?
I'm 30-something years old. I know myself.
You're 30-something years old, so your ability to know who you are is based on your age. So you would say that this young man in your chair, how old are you? This 12-year-old, does he not know himself?
No.
How does he begin to know himself?
He doesn't know himself.
How does he begin to know
How
himself?
long have you been able to comprehend stuff? A few years? Think about it. You're 12, right? My son's 10, and he still don't comprehend a lot of things.
So comprehension is the ability to understand yourself. Do you think that you know yourself? Do you think that you're good? Don't answer according to what you think they want to hear. Do you feel you know yourself? He feels at 12 he knows himself.
His 12-year-old self, yeah, he does know himself.
What skills do you have to have you developed to be able to know
He
yourself?
knows his 12-year-old self.
Well, we're not going to discount his knowing of self.
No, but
Do you
I'm
mind
saying-
telling me what you know about yourself? He knows he's respectful. Okay. He knows he handles his business. Okay.
Stand on that.
Boom. So in that respect, he knows himself.
Imagine you just programmed to say that. Imagine you programmed to say that you respect adults and you're supposed to.
Well, now you're getting a little bit deeper than I feel these waters are
Sorry, guys.
permitting.
Let me stop.
We're in Kiwanis Lake right now. We're not in the ocean, so we have to Kiwanis Lake around here. My whole point is, at 12, he feels that he knows himself. So, per Taylor,
He knows his 12-year-old self.
yes, but what I'm saying is, so do you think when he turns 13, he's going to change and realize he doesn't know himself? Or he's going to be like, I know myself now at 13, I know myself at 14, I know myself at 34? Or could it be that wherever you thought you knew yourself, there's always another you to know?
Yeah, there is.
Exactly.
He don't know himself. You don't know who he's going to be at 15 right now. You don't know who he's going to
So
be
do you
at
know
18.
do you know who you're going to be at 40?
I do. Because I've aligned myself with my vision. I have a vision. I have a goal.
Okay. So are you that vision? Are you that goal today?
That I wanted to be whenever I was 25, when I looked at myself at 35. Am I where I want to be?
No, we're talking about 40. You have your
No, I'm
vision and you
saying,
have your
okay,
goal.
But
But
right.
you're changing the question. I'm asking a very
No,
specific
I'm not.
question.
I'm explaining the answer.
Okay.
So right now, at 30-some years old, I know who I want to be at 40 the same way whenever I was 20, 25, I knew who I wanted to be at 30,
So, okay.
right? And
So
I had to have a full understanding, not of only myself, my surroundings and life as well, so I can make that decision, and I can make that decision with a clear mind, because I can't make up irrational stuff and think that I can make it happen.
okay, and I respect that. Now
It
my
has to be
question is, when you were 25, I believe that's the age you said, and you said that you wanted to be who you were to become at 30, are you the same person at 25 and 30? Or did you become a different person?
No, I aligned myself with where I wanted to be, and I became that.
So did you change? But did the 25, are you the 25-year-old version of you, or are you the 35 version? I don't know how old you are, but the 30-something version of you. Or have you, the alignment means there was change, right? Because in order
was
to align, the opposite, there's misalignment, which means you were out of alignment, which means you had to bring yourself into alignment, which means you had to change.
You know,
No change.
not necessarily.
Well, what does alignment mean to you? What is the opposite of
I
alignment?
get no. You have the right definition for alignment.
Okay, so maybe I'm
Maybe
there's a different word.
Wrong, right? So what I'm trying to say is that I had a full understanding of everything going on, and in order to have a vision and accomplish a goal, it's just like the same way in school, right? In order to pass the test, you have to have a full understanding of everything you've been dealing with throughout that week,
Yeah,
so you can pass your test on Friday.
yeah.
It's the same thing with life. You have to have a full understanding of everything going on. Because
Mark.
when the test comes,
Very plant.
you gotta start all over if you don't get it right.
Very plant.
Okay. I receive that. No, I understand what you're saying. I just believe
I
that
think it's the same thing with children. We have to give them a full understanding of everything going on, not only in their world, but the world around them. So they can finally have the vision and the idea and become who they're supposed to become.
and what did Taylor said? He said give a child a full understanding, not just sit down and be quiet. Thank you. You proved my point.
No, whenever I get to the sit down and be quiet, it's because you already have the full understanding.
When you get to, it's not your first stopping
No,
point.
it's nobody's first stop.
It is in my household, which is the problem. Which is what this one's arguing and this one's arguing. That you start there. That's not where you start.
You don't have to.
You don't. You shouldn't. You should never get with because I said so. And too many of our households are raised with the because I said so. And I'm not raising my children that way. That's it.
I feel that.
So I'm not saying there's anything wrong. I'm not saying there's anything wrong
We
with
all
what you
coach
all are
differently,
saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
If I put you on a basketball team, you would coach them different this week, and then if I took the exact same kids the next week, it would be a whole different style. And there's nothing wrong with that as long as we all learn how to play the game.
If we are coaching a winning
Right.
team, as long as we are coaching a winning
It's not
team,
about winning.
it is
Not
for
with
my
children.
family. It
Not with
is.
children.
I'm raising winners.
If I put this kid in YMCA basketball, right, it doesn't matter if they win or lose.
Oh, so you're
At the
saying
end
the
of the
actual,
day.
no, you're saying the
Because
actual
the
physical
actual-
trophy. I'm not talking about, yay, we got the win. I'm saying I'm raising my children. Everything they do, they are doing their best, period. I'm raising
But
winners.
that's different.
Yeah, but
How they
you're
learn
saying,
resilience?
I don't know.
Through toughness.
I'm about to put your
They
ass on
learn-
camera now.
They learn resilience through toughness. That's the only way you can learn resilience. And you know what toughness is? Pain, discomfort, like braces. It hurts, but you gotta learn it. That's the only way you become resilient, and that sucks about parenting. Holla.
Get out my ear.
My bad.
Anyway, I don't believe that it's necessary.
You don't want to. You love your babies more. You love them.
No, I raise my daughters the same
It's not the
way.
same. It's a
But I
complete
pull
different
up.
connection.
No,
It's a complete different
I'm not talking about the
That's
connectivity.
but it starts there, mama. It's always connectivity because connection is everything. Everyone wants to get married. I want to get married. I want to get married. I want to get married. But they don't say I want connection.
Mm-hmm.
That's how marriage lasts. You got to be connected.
Yes, agreed.
So you're connected
You
to his
teach it.
voice.
You have to teach connection.
What I had to realize about myself
Mm-hmm.
is that I was chasing my mom in every woman. There's a version of my mother I was chasing, and all the women I'm in love with.
Mm-hmm.
So as I mature, I had to understand that I gotta fight what's natural to me because I like a toxic trait. There's a perspective of what you. There's a perspective of how you grew up, the man that raised you, that you identify with, whether you recognize it or not.
I recognize
It's
it.
there. However, every time you fight, your fighting was probably better. Your fighting was probably better for you. It's almost like being in love with bad food. Oh, I love bad food. I love bad food. I love bad food. Eating healthy food sucks. It tastes no flavor. It sucks. So it's the same thing with the things that are bothering you. So that fight in you comes from him. So you're fighting. You being quiet. You stepping back. You letting somebody else do it is so uncomfortable because it's so natural to see what you saw.
I figured you out, Lefty. I was gonna say that when I left, but I'm gonna say it in your face. You gotta be the smartest person in the room. This is this guy. He gotta be the smartest motherfucker in the room because he doesn't know who he's talking to. Because I have identified everything that you're saying. I understand that I was extremely toxic. I understand that my husband was only with me because he was tolerating me because I was a tyrant. No, you don't have to agree. I checked myself because I was my father. I was my motherless daughter self. I raised myself. These streets raised me. And I realized that. And I'm only married because my husband was able to withstand me. And now I'm moving my family into a space where my husband doesn't have to tolerate me. I actually know how to love him. But he actually has to communicate with me how he wants to be loved now, which no one's ever asked him, how do you want to be loved? And now that I'm asking him, he doesn't know how to answer because no one ever asked him, and he's never actually taken the time to say, what does love feel like for me? And I am teaching my sons the same way. Nobody needs to talk to you stupid. And you're saying being talked to stupid is necessary.
It's not. When you correct somebody, it's uncomfortable. And as far as Dre or anything, lead with love. Just let everything be out of love. Everything be out of unselfish and service orientated.
Receive.
Be kind, and you don't have
I was kind. I finessed the shit out of it. Do you know how many different ways I ran what I was going to say to him through my head, and he still reacted to it? Like, I was like, filter. No, it has to be said.
It doesn't have to be said.
It does have to be said.
If you fight every battle, you'll lose the war.
I don't fight every battle.
But that was a small battle.
To you.
It was a small
Look,
battle.
that's because, look, so boom, look at it. Hold this. Because I'm going to need to talk with my hands now. You done brought me out of my shell. We went from here, and these were all the battles, and I chose what battles to choose. Then we went to here. Okay, we could still get this tighter. When you started learning how to cut, right? Especially with your left hand, right? Especially with your left hand. Your cuts was like this. You like, I get a little tighter. So you had to pick at yourself. Lovingly, unlovingly, doesn't matter. You had to refine yourself. 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 So at some point, the battles that you're picking seem minuscule, but you had to get to those minuscules to get to your level of perfection. I am seeking perfection, not perfect, but perfection within my home. And yes, there were battles I did not pick. There were battles, so what you're saying is it is really small. But guess what? Because we're done with this. We're done with this. And now we're nitpicking because we can perfect. The same way you look at your haircut probably still today and be like, yeah, I could do. And your next one, you're better. It's the same way I'm raising my family.
That's 110% correct, and I love the analogy you use of the time over working. But as a man is raising a man, he has to do that job because only he knows how to raise him. A woman, as much as she wants to, she doesn't possess the skill, as I don't possess the skill to be a nurturing mother. I can't birth you. I can't. There's nothing I can do to birth you. But what I can do is teach my daughter a certain way, a certain perspective on how to look at men. You can't raise a man, but you can love Dre enough and show him that effort, that support, so your sons can see it, and your son can say, wow, I want a loving woman like my mom. If you don't do that, what you'll do is it'll chase toxic behaviors in every woman. And being combative and being combative, like it or not, is a toxic trait.
I'm not combative.
This entire conversation was you.
I'm having a conversation with you. Which one, like, yes, lefty, whatever you like.
I'm giving you an insight on man-to-man growth. And you have to be able to let that man, especially if he's doing the right thing, he proves his way on your first child. He proves his way every day he goes to work. He shows his way every way he loves you, taught you how to love. So you gotta know that you got that kind of partner, you gotta let him love and then support him. Now if he overcrosses the line, if it gets out of hand, then gently talk to him. But if he's doing it within a boundary of safety, then you gotta take a deep breath and say, you know what, Dre, I love you enough to trust you. And that's going to give him the inspiration to come back to you and say, you know what, how can I do it better? But if you go, then he's going to put his guards up and then he's going to go,
And that's what you're experiencing right now.
So I'm just giving you, listen, you're doing it right now. I'm giving you a perspective that can help you win. Otherwise,
no, and I'm receiving no. But I'm not going into the old bag because first and foremost. Okay.
You smart, man.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah. I am making a change. How do you know? No, because you refuse to understand my perspective. So you're saying if I walk out of here and say you're right.
Raise that young men. Those are young men, if you like it or not. They're 6 and 4 right now.
Okay.
In 10 years, they'll be 16 and 14. In 10 more years, they'll be 26 or 24. And if you keep this mentality, it's going to run you away from you.
No.
Okay.
Let me say that. My husband, there is something to say. My husband was raised by toxic women. Does that mean he does? So exactly, that's why he loved my toxic ass. And now that I am no longer toxic and still working through toxicity, so I am receiving what you're saying. I am not saying I'm not receiving what you're saying. What I'm saying is this ain't that. I am not a toxic woman anymore because I've identified that. I know that you're speaking to me from the perspective of that. But can we receive that my husband was raised by extremely toxic women, abusive women? That's not the point. The point is that I am not the only toxic. No. I am not the only toxic person in this relationship. No. See?
We're talking about us.
No, and this is what Dre's talking about, always moving the goalposts. Exactly. If I am a toxic mother who is raising toxic sons who will be attracted to toxic women, then we understand that their father, who was raised by toxic women, married a toxic woman, and now both of us are toxic together. Therefore, we must both heal through toxicity. If he doesn't see how he's toxic, who's going to point it out to him? If I don't see how I'm toxic, who's going to point it out for him? You? Nigga, you don't know how he raises them. You don't even know the man. I sit there and watch it. What you got to say, Taylor?
So look, I got two boys, right?
Right.
A 10-year-old and a 7-year-old. The 10-year-old was raised predominantly by me. The 7-year-old by his mother. Now the 10-year-old, whenever I was in barber college, the barber college was set up to where I couldn't see certain areas. So if somebody came to me and said, hey, he's doing this, this, and this, I'm going to whoop his ass, and then I'm going to take him back over there, and guess what? He's going to whoop your ass too, because he's the one that saw him do it. So now my oldest son, it don't matter if I'm looking or not, he knows to be on his best behavior, because he understands accountability. Right? And he don't like his mom because she doesn't hold him accountable. Now my 7-year-old, he doesn't understand accountability and he won't leave his mother alone.
Did you teach him accountability because you beat it into him, or did you teach him accountability because you sat him down and said, look, yada, yada, yada. So a conversation was had. Both. But that is not what we're talking about. We're talking about.
Let him have it. Let him have it.
Once you understand the accountability part,
this is the one I actually agree with.
So let him talk.
once my oldest understood the accountability part, now I don't have to look your ass. He's going to go ahead and do it for me because he understands that as a man, if I'm not present, it's still my responsibility to help this young man. Just like when I was outside a second ago, I walked outside, Noah's out there standing like this. First thing I told him is put your arms down.
It takes a village. It takes a village. I receive that.
So that's why my oldest is the way that he is. He understands accountability. The fact that now, whenever his youngest brother does something and you're in the same room with him, I'm not on to the younger one. I'm on to you because you understand what he doesn't because you were raised by me.
Because you create a legacy and now you can be replicated through your children.
Right.
But you can only be replicated through your children if you actually teach
And give him the lessons.
Okay, but a lot of it is uncomfortable.
I'm not saying it has to be all roses. I'm saying that you don't have I believe that you do not. The only point that I'm making, which is in complete disagreement with potentially the three of you guys, is you're saying that you must break a child in order to build them up. A child is born pre-programmed. They know what the fuck they came to do. You know what you came to this earth to do, right? And your parents fucked you up. I'm not fucking like you.
It goes both ways. It goes both ways because a lot of people on this side of the spectrum will say that the people on this side of the spectrum who are physically disciplining their kids are fucking them up. And everybody on this end of the spectrum is going to look and say the people who aren't disciplining their kids physically are fucking them up. So it's just all about balance.
Yeah, and again, I'm not saying there's no place for physical discipline. I spank my kids as well. But my default first go-to, and I'm going to always teach first.
It's the same thing with the court system. The first time you get in trouble, they may just give you a little slap on the wrist, if that. After that, you already know better. You've been here before.
Yeah, and I agree with that.
And now we're going to send you to the place for people
But
who
we're
can't
teaching
get right.
her. So instead of the young man who cannot sit still already being perceived as being disrespectful, let's find out if the young man knows that what he's doing is disrespectful. And after we have that conversation, now I know how to respond. If you know you're being disrespectful, now there's a consequence. If you have no idea you're being disrespectful, let me teach you you're being disrespectful. That's all I'm saying.
That's what I do with my kids. If you
That's
don't know
all I'm
better,
saying.
now you know better.
Now you
Once
know
you know
better.
better, do better.
Now we got a
If you don't do
consequence.
better,
Now there's a consequence. That's all I'm saying. That is all I'm
there's
saying.
no more after that. It's all consequence after that.
Teach these niggas. Later, Taylor.
Taylor.
Bye, Paris. Uh-huh. Bye, Lefty.
God, gorgeous. Have a good one.
Uh-huh.
Always a pleasure. You're going to win. I believe in you.
I
You
am.
just got to exhale.
Man, Lefty,
And let men be men.
I ain't got nothing else to say to you for the rest of the day.
Hey.
I'm going to see you in a year.
Y'all want to take Noah with you?
Noah.
What we doing? No, you trust me to take your son? You want me to take a young black man under my tutelage?
For the boys, they come on, let's go play.
Oh, if he wants to. We about to go to the crib.
We could get
What y'all about
something.
to do today?
We could
We're-
do something.
We didn't have any plans. What should we do with the boys? We have a park by our house.
What does Noah like to do for fun?
Everything.
We could go to like someplace.
Does Noah even know us to go with us?
Of course. Noah!
Introduction.
Yeah, he
Right?
knows- I mean,
Right.
babe pretty much raised him.
I know when he
Yeah.
walked by, he was looking at us like you
He was
look
like-
familiar.
Yeah.
Right.
And he's great with kids.
Yeah.
Loves everybody.
Yeah.
God bless you. God bless you too. I mean, if you guys want to, it's
Oh,
just
no.
me. I don't have the other ones, so he'll get bored with me.
Yeah, he can come play with the boy. We're on, well, I won't say where we're at, but we're about 20 minutes away.
What do you mean?
Well, I was going to say where we live, but I'm on video, so I don't want to say that. Yeah, we're about 20 minutes away as far as pickup goes, but we can, what would you like for him to experience? We can make that happen. We were just going to go home. We have a trampoline, and then they'll just run around and do boy things.
Do boy things on.
Apparently, there's food somewhere.
I'm gonna make sure.
Noah. Noah.
Oh, you're thinking we could go do something.
We can go do something.
Oh, okay.
Young Pay, hey Trini Trin. I'm in here arguing with these
That was
men.
fun. See,
Hey Carby, I'm in here arguing with these men.
not me, but hey.
Bailey's like, listen, no, don't let them.
No, it was funny.
They got
You're
me
like,
kicking the
no,
ground. No, because y'all don't want to hear me. Y'all ain't trying to hear me. I hear you, Lefty.
It's just a way. I'm just telling you how. I'm telling you how what I saw.
It's out of
and,
love.
and as a barber, I've had the opportunity to see a ton of boys grow up.
Yeah.
I see how my brother grew up. Look at your backpack. Put my ring away.
Do you want to roll with us? You don't have to, but I have Michael, who is 6, and Caden, who is 4, and you guys can all play together, or you can stay, but don't feel that you have to go with us if you don't want to.
Remember Bailey?
Maybe. Do you?
You don't have to. No, if you don't want to go.
No, he asked if you remember Bailey.
Oh, he doesn't
Do
remember.
you want to come with us and hang out with my little brothers, or you want to stay here?
She used to babysit.
Got
You
it.
remember the babysitter?
Still
You
no.
don't remember?
Still no.
All right.
No, you just got little kids over there, so you know. You can hang out with Daddy and
You
do
come
nothing.
kick it with us. Yeah, Caden's been hanging out with Dre at the shop. Mike was like, I want to go to the shop. I was like, it's not fun, friend.
It's not. No, it's not. But yeah, I see how the boys grow up, and I'm dealing with it with his mom. His mom is a little more hands off, but Jennifer is so scary over there, every little thing, and I'm seeing it with Hendrix, and it's just like, oh my God, I'm watching him go down the place where,
You got to reprogram them every chance you get.
but I mean, they're
I get it.
brainwashing them over there. They're just
I get
they're
it.
so scared of everything, and they're so fearful, and then
Can I take that work phone because my iPad it's not dead. It's just the internet.
no, the work phone's playing music. So I seen in my own house, my brother, my mom was like a certain way with me, and then she met a guy when I was about 11, and he was Muslim. He was hard. I mean, no games, no playing. Like, we're listening to Khalid Muhammad, Louis Farrakhan, Malcolm X every day on Saturdays and Sundays. Just waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning. We had to pray. We had to do yard work. it sucked. He would thump me if I was doing something. If I was crying, he'd say, toughen up. I came home with a hickey in my neck. He punched me in the chest. You don't let no woman suck on you and mark you up. I mean, that's man shit, and it sucked. But as I matured, there was a huge gap between me and everybody else. I was comfortable doing uncomfortable things when everybody else had to have it their way. They had to do it. Oh, well, I don't feel like this. Well, I don't feel like that. I'm like, but it needs to get done. But so what? No, man, hell no, I ain't doing that shit. He ain't gonna let him talk to me in the kind of way. I'm like, but what's your goal? Is your goal that? Do you need to go that route to get to your goal? Yeah, but so what? I mean, nigga, all mama's boys. All mama's boys. All prominent women running their lives and running the household. When you do that, they don't develop toughness. And toughness is what separates me from them.
I hear you, Lefty.
I'm just telling you what you want. I'm just telling you, what do you want them to be? Do you want them to be resilient, or do you want them to be weak? And the only way for them to be resilient is by allowing someone to do that job, to make them resilient.
So
there's no other way.
Let me ask you a question. The way that I would prefer for that situation to have been handled was, hey, do you know that all that movement you're doing is a sign of disrespect? If Michael,
they don't know what disrespect is. They're 6.
how do you teach them respect without teaching them respect?
You gotta teach them fear. Fear.
No,
respect comes after fear.
No, it doesn't.
It does. Listen, if I fall, boom, oh shit, I hit myself. Okay, let me respect this place so I don't fall right there. I gotta fall down and feel the pain. I tattoo pain on my leg. I can't show you because of the jeans. I got the tattoo pain because the pain I go through to teach me to go. Okay, I can't do that no more because I keep doing it. I'm gonna keep fucking up.
But has
You have to go through pain to get
do you
there.
really think that you had to lose your marriage to learn how to respect a marriage?
I never knew marriage from the gate.
Exactly. So you don't think you could have been taught prior to?
I didn't have a daddy. I didn't have a mother. I didn't have a mother who allowed the man to even love her and discipline her children. She was the same way.
I'm not asking you what your life experience was. I'm telling you, do you think it is possible for you to have learned how to be married without losing your marriage? Do you think that something inside of you could have taught yourself how to be successful? So you don't think that you are capable? You would have fucked it off, period.
I'm going back to a place to where it really came from. And it came from my childhood.
The origins, everything comes from childhood.
So, because I had a mother who took no shit from nobody, who had to run a show, which is the atypical woman,
Black woman,
American woman,
yes.
especially black woman. She ran through men. She can always get a guy, but she can never keep one because when it came to the kids, it had to be her way. And a real man is going to come in and say, hey, nope, this is that. Nope, they can't do this. Nope, they're not doing that. And with boys, a boy needs a father to develop discipline and direction. Discipline and direction. And there's no other way other than pain to get discipline and direction. Now, if I had that father consistently for my whole life, I would have had the dick discipline and the emotional discipline to not develop a habit of womanizing. I need so much attention.
So how are you working through your womanizing now?
Well, I mean, I had 10 months of nothing.
Oh, yeah.
10 months of no connection. So
Yeah.
when I got done, I look back at my life and I said, every good relationship I ever lost was because of me not controlling myself.
So
And because I was good at it, because I could get away with it, I always did it.
Until you couldn't.
Until I couldn't.
okay, so now we're talking about you now have moved into a space of self-discipline.
Absolutely.
But it took you being deprived to develop it. So you think, is it possible to develop self-discipline without deprivation?
No.
It's not.
The discipline starts at correction, and the correction starts at fear and pain. You got to understand there's a consequence to your actions. At a younger age, that way it won't be that bad. If you don't understand at a young age, it's going to be a harder lesson later. And some people, 90% of people never learn the lesson because they never reflect. Most people run around blaming everybody else in the world for their downfall. Most people do that. Look at all your friends. Look at all the TV. Look at everything we see. Well, they did it. That's why we love reality TV so much. Because we can look back and watch everybody else's shit like, oh, my shit ain't that bad. I can't stand it because I know what they're doing.
Exactly so. At least he didn't, slap him and tell him he didn't do all those different things. He's not that bad. But can we admit that there still is another way to do things?
No, there's no other way.
Notorious B.I.G. What do you got to add to the conversation?
I kind of go with Lefty.
Of course you do.
No, it's not.
Let
It's
him
not.
have
You know
it.
what? It's kind of ironic because I'm going through something very similar. I mean, I've been married for 18 I've been married for 18 years. I grew up with a single mother. You know, I was her baby. No dad. You know, my wife, well, maybe soon to be ex, is running around here, right? And it's like, I didn't realize, like, kind of what he's going through, right? It's not till I'm facing pain and fear of losing her that I realize I got to self-reflect and see what I need to do in order to change.
So why did it take? You don't think you could have came in?
Because I came from a mother that allowed me to just do whatever I wanted to make sure that she was compensating for, right? I had a mother that compensated for, you know, knowing that there wasn't a father figure in the house, so I'm going to do whatever I need to do as a single woman to make sure that my son is growing up to have everything he needs, you know, and is okay, not realizing the negative impacts of
her choices.
Of the choices of being a yes mom.
And I just would really, it just makes me sad that y'all feel that y'all
Sometimes
gotta
like
lose
you said,
stuff.
You have to lose. It's not necessarily you have to lose. It's just the fear. It's just that fear and that pain that's associated with it that makes something click in a man's heart and in a man's mind to say, okay, something's got to change.
And all I hear is a child who doesn't listen until they're yelled at. That's all that is. Because listen, let me make the parallel for you.
My mother never yelled at me.
No, but let me make the parallel because you guys are thinking like literal sense. I'm not speaking literal sense. What I'm saying is when someone asks you to do something nicely, you don't listen. When someone asks you to do something nicely, you don't listen. Then when the threats come in, now you start listening. So now you're in a space of potentially losing your relationship.
That's
what you're programmed. You are programmed to respond to fear.
It's proven, right? Because you're also talking to a military man, right? And
definitely.
When I joined the military, right? It was
tear down to rebuild.
You tear them down and you rebuild them. But you know what? That them tearing me down and rebuilding me is what allows me to sit here and talk to you.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would have been killed in Iraq because of that failure of that discipline wouldn't have been there. That fear wouldn't have been there. That fear is kind of what helps create. And it's not
No, I understand that.
I think when you say the word fear, I think a lot of people see it as negative, but it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be a negative. I mean, accountability is a form of fear. Like there's fear is tied to accountability, right?
Agreed.
Right? Accountability at work. It doesn't mean your boss is screaming at you, but you know if I mess up, I'm not going to be able to pay the bills.
Exactly.
So there's a level of fear there. It's not a negative fear, but it's you know that you need to do it in order to.
But do you think you could show up for your job and hold yourself accountable? You ain't even heard what I said and you already saying no. Do you think that you could show up to your job and hold yourself accountable without your boss talking to you stupid? Why does your boss have to say, if you show up late one more time, all that shit's unnecessary?
No, yeah.
They could just say, you know what your responsibilities are, make sure you handle those.
Yeah,
Don't you think both of those?
It's a different situation, it's a different relationship, right?
But I'm saying both of those approaches.
And you're not learning, I'm sorry to cut you off, but you're not learning the understanding of responsibility.
There's not an emotional attachment to that boss either.
Right. When you're 6 and 4, you're learning responsibility. You're learning pain. You're learning all of these things. So you got to learn from the bottom up properly. If you learn from the bottom up properly, then the pain you go through later won't have to be that bad. Yeah. When you learn from the bottom up in the proper way, when he's correcting them that way, which ain't that harsh, and they go through life later, they can be like, okay, no, my dad showed me, okay, no, I'm not doing that. No, my friends over there smoking weed and doing this, no, I'm not going there. But it only comes from supporting, not just allowing him.
I don't know how to flip the camera.
Yeah. Not just allowing him, but supporting him, Lonnie, through this.
No, and I'm not in disagreement.
But this is new for him too.
Exactly.
And he's present. He's not new and running. He's new and present.
No, you trying to tell me to accept the fact that he's present.
I'm not saying just accept it. I'm saying praise it.
I do. I tell him, thank you for remembering to turn the lights off. Thank you for remembering to turn the heat off when you left. I praise everything. I do. But I'm also allowed to call out, just like he's allowed to call out where I fall short.
At what cost?
Why allow?
Everything has a consequence. So why even drop that bucket? Why even drop that in the bucket? Why even put that ripple effect?
Arguing with these men.
Have you ever seen the movie? What's the name of that movie? It's called the effect, butterfly effect. Watch it tonight.
All right.
You gotta. I feel like you have to tie some kind of consequence to your actions.
You have to.
Because I mean, if not,
Yeah.
look at the world that we live in nowadays,
Yes.
right? The mass shootings and all that stuff. That all attributes to the world
Yes.
that everyone gets a participation trophy nowadays. There's no winner, right? Because we don't want to hurt feelings. And
That's
this and
right.
that. So it's like everyone feels entitled to have an opinion or feel a certain type of way, which is, as a human, you have freedom and the self-right to feel a certain type of way, but every action has a
Equal or something reaction. You know that. You're a smart guy. What is it? Every action has an equal or something reaction.
I don't know. Every action
it's
has
a
a
balance.
reaction.
So it's a
Yes,
balance.
all
You know,
about.
there-
Yes.
there is praise. There is a praise aspect to it, but a lot of the times,
I agree.
too much praise ends up being. You
It
just
causes
end up with
entitlement and
I got it for you. It's okay.
And I'm not saying that there is.
And then you grow up with people like me, right? That don't know how to necessarily navigate a marriage and navigate uncomfortable conversations and difficult conversations, and it took feeling that immense amount of pain and fear of losing that person you just built your whole life with to realize I can either continue to do this or
Change. And the
that
change.
fear and that consequence of losing my life is what is.
So do you truly believe that whatever the 5 things, 10 things that she's giving you feedback on, I don't know your situation, just asking a question, but those things that she's giving you feedback on, you correct those things. Do you think that her feedback is going to stop there? Or do you think now that we don't have to deal with that anymore, now there's some more refining to do?
In any relationship, there's going to be
Continuous refinement, which is where we're at.
And I think
We are changing how we're raising our children.
Right, because there's always going to be.
Go and pray for him.
There's always going to be.
that's all I could do.
Go and pray for him.
There's going to be continued, like, not every situation will be the same, right?
Exactly. So no, I'm just
The same
saying.
way we have to, as men, we have to kind of give our women grace when things aren't necessarily going our way, right?
But do you believe that you're allowed to speak up and say, hey, I don't like.
You should be able to.
You should be, yeah.
You should be able to, but the challenge is we have a lot of people, right? The generation that we live in, and a lot of, right? Even the adults now, right? We grew up in that, depending on the situation, you grew up in that, where it's like you take that feedback negatively and it automatically turns into an argument and it blows up into a negative situation instead of taking that feedback and accepting it.
Exactly. So why can't I give my husband feedback?
It just has to be done in a constructive way. But,
And I did it in a constructive
how
way.
he receives it might be different. But that has to
Exactly.
do with his upbringing and not necessarily yours.
Exactly. Say what? What were we talking
But
about
it's interesting.
yesterday?
I mean, it depends on the dynamic and where you guys are in your relationship too. And sometimes it might necessarily take the wife saying, you know what? Because I've had to do it with my wife. So look, I'm saying this because I care and I want to get past it. I'm not saying it because I want to, dirty your character or say you're a bad person or put you down in any kind of way. But this is what I'm experiencing. This is how it makes me feel, and I hope that you can just take that and run with it, and hopefully make a change. I mean, it's up to that person if they're going to make that change or not.
Yeah.
And then if the changes don't happen, then
You make your decision from there.
That decision from there. But it's tough though, depending on how that man's been raised. That man might just put up with it and be okay with the fighting and the toxic relationship.
And you don't want that. You don't want that version of anybody.
And so what you're saying is beautiful in theory. It's the practical application of it,
Everything is beautiful in theory.
Exactly.
Putting it into action is the hardest thing.
which is what we're
It's going
experiencing
to be
it.
the hardest thing, and it's either going to make your relationship or break your relationship.
Exactly.
You got to.
And that's the space that we're in. And I'm not saying that my methodology is correct. But what I'm saying is I want my children to know beyond a shadow of a doubt that they can fly.
Well, you gotta let them be confident, let them led by a confident person. And Drake can't be confident if you're tearing him down every time he corrects him.
I don't every time. Not every time. I know, but you're saying that every time.
I'm telling you what's going to
I'm
happen
receiving
to a
what you're
man
saying.
when he's trying to raise his children, and then you do that, and then they'll chase that version of you in every woman, and then they'll be getting torn down by every woman. So think to yourself: do you want a woman to treat them the way you treat him? Because that's what they're gonna chase.
I treat my husband well. The old version of me, I was terrible. I don't yell no more. I don't speak to Dre any kind of way in front of
She
people
knows what
anymore.
she does and doesn't do. I don't have to say it.
No, I'm saying the
You
version that
remember,
my husband
everything they see you do,
and
they're gonna want a woman to do that to them.
understood.
So,
yes,
as you
I
treat
am
him-
raising men. I am raising husbands. I am raising fathers.
No.
I understand that, and so is my husband. To say that I am void of raising my sons to be men and to be husbands and to be fathers is incorrect.
What to
We
look
are
for
both
and what to look
raising
for in a
them.
woman.
Yes, and I'm an amazing example of all of those things. I understand. So Dre's gonna do what Dre's gonna do, but I'm just saying,
God bless you, my brother. Good
have
luck
a
to you.
good one.
It's a tough. It's a.
Yeah,
It's life.
it's
Life
life.
sucks.
It's life.
It
It's not
sucks.
fun.
Yeah,
It's not for the weak at heart.
it's
for
not.
the weak. Yep. Yep.
Well, I'm praying for you and your outcome.
Yeah.
Hey,
But sometimes you gotta lose what you love in order for to dig deep and see what needs to change.
Amen.
but I don't think you have to lose it.
You don't have to, but
I-
sometimes it's too late, and that
It's
person's
too late.
already been put to the ringer, and
Yep.
right now they're going through their emotions.
Yep.
They're scared. They're
Yep.
fearful to go back into that same and trying to explain, what I just explained to you. It's like, hey, look, it took me almost losing you to realize. It's almost like a switch.
Yep.
And it sucks because then in the women's mind or the male, whoever's on the
Yeah,
other
they're done
end,
already.
They don't understand it because they're like, well, if it's just like a switch, why couldn't you do that 15 years ago?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's because, well,
All right, I'll be blessed,
I've been
brother.
the person that's been there for me through thick and thin, and for lack of better terms, I took advantage of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because you filled that void, you filled that same role as mom.
Yep.
I'm gonna make you feel okay. You're gonna, no matter what, you got me. I'm your ride or die
Yeah.
until your ride or die's gone,
Yep.
and then you're stuck.
Yes, sir.
And I'm
But
praying
we
for
still
you,
got
friend,
tomorrow.
because I feel your heart.
Yep. It's gonna work out the way it's gonna work out.
I hope so.
Is that your other half?
Yeah.
Because your child just went
Right,
running.
no, I was watching. I was like, okay, he likes this group of people.
All right.
Now I'm trying to work with
Yeah.
her and see. I'm trying to get rid of it.
All right.
Understand what I'm.
It starts within.
It does.
Beautiful family. You guys have a good day.
We're praying for you.
Keep fighting
Yes.
the fight.
All right, thanks.
All right, God bless
Have a
you.
good one.
But it's challenging for everybody. And Lonnie, I'm so passionate about having this conversation with you and even still going round and round with you because
Thank you.
for one, I love you guys. You guys are like family to me. And for two, I know how hard it was for me, and I don't want that I don't want you to live the way my mom lived. I don't want Dre to live the way I see all older black men live in a separate room. Mom married the dad. The kids grew up holding on to old anger, and I don't want those boys to live and see through the lenses and the emotional immaturity that I struggled with until I had to hurt so bad that I had to get right. I'd rather the correction now. I'd rather the hurtful now so the police don't whoop them, so life don't beat them. Because you don't want police to whoop them and you don't want life to whoop you. The whoopings and the discipline that happens earlier, and I don't mean the physical whoopings,
I understand.
the emotional conversation, the rearing, you supporting that man blindly. Jesus, now listen, if you believe in the Bible or not, just listen to the stories. Read a chapter of Proverbs a day and follow blindly. It's going to suck. It's going to be scary because you've never done it. You're walking into an area of life you've never been in because you never had a relationship with two little infants opposite sex. And you never tried to trust a man the way you got to trust a man now, ever in your life. And those two things are your most prized possession. You can tell me they're not, but I know they are. So you got to trust the man you love, the man you took his last name, the man that married you when nobody else did, the man who I see grow from a boy to a man within the past 10 plus years.
Aww.
You got to trust that man to do his job and support him, even when it's biting your tongue, Even if you want to go in the bathroom and curse, you got to show back up with a smile and say, Daddy, you're doing a great job. How can I help you? What can I do to help this situation? And then you're going to see a whole new man in him. You can't go in blazing guns like you've always been because it's going to get you results that you used to have.
Right,
You got to go in kind-hearted. You got to go in loving. This ain't about feminine or masculine. This is about love.
It's about manipulation. You
It's
just
not
spoke.
about
Yeah, it is. That's manipulation.
If that's how you want to.
It is because what you said.
Keeping it real goes wrong.
No.
And right now you're keeping it real.
No. I'm literally saying what you said is you have to finesse it. You
If
can't
that's how you
go
wanna
in
take it,
guns
that's how you wanna
blazing.
take it.
Whether you like my language or not, what you're saying is you have to
There's
literally finesse a man into getting him to do what you want him to do. So allow him to move how he wants to move. Be silent about it. And ultimately, because you are finessing the situation and saying, great job, even though I don't really feel it. I'm not being argumentative. I am saying this is what you're saying to me and I'm receiving it, but this is how I'm filtering it, saying, great job, keep my mouth shut. What's going to happen is he sees my support and now he's going to come to me and he's going to say, okay, how can we work together? So right now what I'm doing is repelling him, and you're saying you can get your way. Here's how you get your way. And so that's what I just received from what you're saying. I'm not disagreeing with you. I will be quiet because like I said, you changed my life when you gave me the advice to allow my child. Whenever I tell that story about the man who told me that I need to lay off Bailey and allow her to develop because his mom had him until he was 18, and then when he turned 18 he went wild and he didn't have a relationship with his mom to go back and say, hey mom, this is going on. He was like, make sure that you allow Bailey the space to grow and become herself while she's under your roof so that she can come to you and then she can take correction. This is the man that taught me that. So I'm not going to disagree with him. I'm a move how I'm going to move, right? When someone gives you advice, you filter it through. And so that's what I did. I made sense of what you said. Back off of him. Let him move how he's going to move because he's a man raising men. Love him, support him, allow him to feel love and support it, whether you agree with what he's doing or not. And in that, he will come to you and you guys can build from there. That's what I'm receiving. Sounds like the finesse game to me. And I love a good finesse.
Right? Like, I mean, partially there.
Right, are you agreeing with them?
I'm not agreeing with them, but I just feel like you're hard-headed at times. And I like seeing people...
I just want to be heard, and I don't feel like I'm being heard. No, he had to refine his message enough for me to receive it, because what you guys have initially said to me was that I still don't agree fear is necessary. I still don't agree that you must break a child in order to build him up. I don't agree with that. And I'm not going to say that that is correct. But what I can agree with is allowing a man to be in a man's space so that he can become who he is to become and raise what he's going to raise. You know what I'm saying? I can agree with that. So if you're telling me as a black man how I need to navigate a black man, I as a black woman cannot say, no, that's not how you navigate a black man. I'm gonna say, okay, you giving me the cheat code. Now how can I apply that cheat code and finesse this situation the way that this situation needs to be finessed? Because at the end of the day, I'm gonna get my way. And that's not me bullying, that's nothing. It's just like, how can I, no. You can call it what you want to, but if because if it's listen,
I've been breaking this too.
Listen,
I'm working on that one too.
No, because at the end of the day, what I want is my family to be okay. What I want is my family to be together till the end. I'm not even focused on my kids yet. I'm talking about my family in general. Because there's all different pieces to the family. So there is me, myself. There's my husband himself. There's my husband and myself together. There is my husband as a relation is to his children. It is me as relation to our children. It is me individually to each child. It's him individually to each child. It's child to child. It's child to parent. So there's a multitude of relationships that are being managed in order for my family to be okay. That's what I want, and I will get what I want. Now, how that happens, I am open to interpretation.
How much of yourself are you willing to kill off to have those things?
I've killed my entire self.
Say, not all of this.
I've killed my entire self.
Never stops.
Exactly. I've killed my.
Killing
Exactly.
the old us.
Like I said, when I walk away from this conversation, I'm gonna be a new person.
Amen.
So it's not like I'm sitting here having this conversation. I'm gonna walk away from it like, fuck them niggas. I don't care what they have to say. No, I'm gonna walk away from this conversation. I was like, okay, y'all done gave me some insight. I will either between now or when I wake up tomorrow morning, I will be a completely different person based off of this conversation. So I will be combative because you are telling me what I'm saying isn't true. Well, no, what I am saying is true. What you're arguing versus what I'm saying or arguing is the methodology of execution. And you are saying we both want our men to be raised. I want my children to be raised without the psychological trauma. And you're saying the trauma is necessary. I'm saying the trauma is not.
That's not trauma.
Now, it is
This
trauma.
is discipline.
You call it discipline, I call it trauma.
This is
My
correction.
dad called it discipline too. Every time he beat my ass for shit and
But
yelled
that-
at me and told me whatever the hell he said.
That's
But
not
how
going on.
often? You say what?
That's not going on.
You don't know. I'm not saying it is, but
All
you
right,
don't know.
So then why we bringing up that situation? Because you're not dealing with that. See, you're tying.
I am
You're tying that
tying
horrible
that you're
situation
saying
that you
the
went through
extreme. You're
to
saying the
the-
extreme. It only matters when it's the extreme, and I'm saying it matters in the infancy.
It
I'll let
doesn't.
you speak now.
It still has to be. It still has to exist. You don't live in that house because those guys just grab whatever and put whatever together. You wouldn't feel safe in that place. Those guys had to lay a foundation. They had to lay concrete. They had to put up boards. They had to put up wood. They had to go back and put up other stuff. Things have to get done for things to be structured and strong. And for things to be structured and strong, it's going to be tough.
Mm-hmm.
Uncomfortable. It's going to be harsh. It's harsh work. Look, it was harsh work for you to get in shape. Slim Shady.
I hear you, homie.
It's like, what are you 45 now? 42? 43?
Don't do me.
All
I
right.
don't know how old I am. I'm
All right.
42.
You ain't too much younger than me. So you look as great as you look because you work, you make choices, you make hard choices all the time to stay good looking and healthy. You make daily choices, and what that man is doing is teaching them how to be resilient and stay good looking and healthy. You make daily choices, and what that man is doing is teaching them how to be resilient and stay older.
Right? I can see that.
Okay, I receive what
And
you
then
just
with
said.
you like saying that you went through
You finally
XYZ,
said it in a way that made sense, Lefty.
I
right?
love you too.
Yeah. Okay.
Bring it back.
Like I'm saying, you had to say it in a way that made sense. Now what you're saying is he's providing a structure that me as a female, I will never understand. And so because as a female, I will not understand the structure, I shouldn't even question it. I should allow it to happen and just know that it is and trust that I married the man that is going to do right by my children.
Right?
So I can respect that.
Amen.
And I'm
so
using this
proud.
conversation for me, you know, when I have my selections. It's
Yeah.
like,
That's right.
what attributes do I want to use to contribute to my household?
And you got a ton of them. You got a ton of examples. You got Dre, you got
Exactly.
your mom, you got me.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's much bigger than just sitting outside talking to you guys or me chiming in and, you know, hearing everybody's perspective. It's like,
It
literally
is.
classroom.
You're being raised. Those in the audience are being raised. Because I know Carby's about to have a son. So, you know, this is some information as a mother. You know, I'm being raised.
We all are.
Hopefully you walked away from this
Yes.
with something. Shit.
I'm learning. I never stop
Uh-huh.
learning.
Yeah, so.
I love that.
All right, I received what you
amazing.
said.
I love that. Thank you, Lefty.
God bless you guys.
Yes, does no one know that we're waiting for him?
No, he said he didn't want to go.
They didn't want to go.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I was waiting for Noah. That's why we
Yeah.
were still talking,
Let
but
me
clearly.
go double check this little dude, 'cause I'm telling you, you're gonna be bored as hell with daddy.
All right. Clearly we were
I
still
didn't want to force
talking.
the kid. I was like,
Oh no, well that's why I gave him the option. I was just like, don't feel forced, because I remember when my parents used to make me go places. I was
Go
like, I do
again.
not want to go.
right?
But
Trust me.
all right.
Oh, that was good. I just wanted you to listen to him. Because, like, he's trying. And the fact that he kept reworking, that means that he wants to give you the opportunity.
Okay, and it's the fact that he kept reworking it, not
That's out of love.
Yeah, he didn't just say the same thing over and over again. Just like I wasn't saying the same thing over and over again. We both took it into different metaphoric spaces to where like, okay, how about I frame it like a barbershop? How about I frame it like a house? How about I frame it like a
basketball team?
You know, how about we frame it in all these different respects so that we can understand each other? Now, I don't know if they understood me, but I understood what they were saying.
That's
You
what
know,
you came to take, you know.
yeah. Apparently, this was the classroom I was supposed to enter
That's
today.
funny. The fact that Paris is able to code switch though, because Paris is like, oh yeah, I understand her, but then the other side is like, oh, this crazy lady. I'm like,
Yeah,
you know,
Paris.
we know Paris.
Yeah. But yeah, this is my family, y'all. This is my lefties family.
All right.
Yeah.
Here's gonna give you some money. Wait, do you want to follow me to the house to get a soccer? No, you're gonna give you some money to get a new soccer ball.
We're getting a soccer ball.
He loves soccer.
Oh, we really y'all give me some soccer ball money then. We need the pristine soccer ball. Is this what soccer balls? Do I gotta bring you your?
Stop.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Soccer ball
And a pizza.
and a pizza.
Uh-huh.
Is that enough?
I don't know.
Yes, we're fine.
Do you like pepperoni? He
We're
likes
fine.
extra cheese.
Stop.
He likes extra pepperoni, Dad. He likes extra.
You got Apple Pay, don't you?
pepperoni.
I'll send you some money on Apple Pay if you need more.
I
She
have
do.
money. It's
Okay, well
okay.
then text me. You got my money.
All right, because we going to Dick's Sporting Good to go get the best
no,
soccer
you ain't going to
ball.
Target. You're going to Dollar Tree.
We're going to get the pristine soccer
guys
ball.
so much.
Thank you, dear. All right. See you later.
Hugs,
yes.
hugs.
Thank you.
Love you all so much. I'm
You
so
too.
proud of you.
Yes. As
Noah,
well.
be on your best behavior. Teach your sons how to be soccer players because he loves Mbappe, Ronaldo. Who else?
I don't like this. Neymar, R9.
Okay.
You gotta teach them all.
You got to teach them all the rules.
All right, so we'll go to the park and play soccer.
Then he'll love it.
All right.
Pizza and I'll text you. You got my number still, right?
Maybe. Have you ever changed it?
No.
Well, then I
Same
got
number.
it.
Okay, well text me right now. I'll have you guys' number and of course I got that phone.
All right, y'all.
number.
Bye.